Joe Sopala here. I'm sitting in my wife's 2013 Grand Caravan minivan SXT Flex Fuel, and I'm going to show you how to remove and replace the sliding door lock actuator, which is located in the back of your sliding door. Not too long ago I noticed that when I was hitting the remote button to open and close the lock, nothing was moving. It's very probable you just need to go online and get a new motor. Now, I bought an actuator for a 2007 Dodge Grand Caravan, which they said will not fit, do not buy. It was 25 bucks instead of 107 or 120 elsewhere. Before we tackle this job, we're definitely going to have to get some music going here. Set the mood. See what we got here. Oh, who is that handsome devil? Ah, he looks good. Let's see what he sounds like. Nice, I like it. Alright, here we go. The first thing that we have to do is take off this little corner doohickey. And that's pretty easy if you open the window first. Because I just get like either a putty knife, put tape on it, and for the side of the door I just get the rusty old crowbar, hand bar, and put tape on that as well, because you don't want to rough up anything. So what you do is you just kind of pry this part up a little bit, or pull it up with your hands. But it should pop right out. As you can see inside, you got these little clips. What you got to do is take this handle cover off, which is fairly simple. Just pop the bottom off, and the rest just comes out. There's also something important you should know. There's a torque screw that has to come out. That's the only one before you start popping the door off from its pins. Now I just opened the door. You got to get a T15 torque. I use whatever you do, don't drop it in the door. And then I go out and I pop off the back parts with this crowbar. I open the door. What you want to do is you want to start down here. And pop this in. I just gotta get something in there. Oh, pop it out. It's not hard at all. You want to put tape on your crowbars and just keep popping all the way up until they all come out. Side of the door, I'm going to take these off with some T30s. Let's see if it does work. Okay, these can come all the way off. Okay, do it. Alright, nothing fell in. Now we're going to go check out how that slides out. Start popping the sides off here. Oh, there's the screw. And then reach in. Oh, look at that. That just came out real easy. Alright, close the door a little bit without ruining anything. Ooh. Stuff to pull off the bottom. Get it inside. It's a little tricky because I don't know why they did this. Oh, that came out pretty easy. Alright, let's get the top off. Look at that. Alright, came off. Okay, you don't want to pull too hard because you see there is a wire and a connector to the door switch. So you want to just squeeze the top a little bit. It should just come right out. That wasn't that bad. Okay, now got that disconnected. The door panel is completely free and in the back seat. And there she is. Now before we block the window, we have to loosen up two nuts that are holding the window onto the window guide. And there's these almost invisible little holes, covers, plastic covers. And what we gotta do, I gotta reach over, see if I can do this, reach over and roll down the window till we see the nuts. Loosen them up just a little bit, then we'll raise up the window, block the window, and see if we can get that thing out. Yeah. It doesn't crack. Very good. There it is. Window's all closed. Now we're gonna put these little wedges in to block it. They're like 3/8 inch wedges. And I just sanded the tips a little bit. That should do it. I'm gonna put a couple more over here. That's like a 1/4 inch. Let's try this one here. Okay. Now I got this impact driver again, and I'm gonna put a 10 mil or probably a 3/32 will work just fine. And you got about 9 of these. You gotta take off. The impact driver is very good because if they're a little stubborn, they just pop right out. Is anybody seeing this? Yeah, I think that was 9. You hear that little click on there? Now what you don't want to do is touch these. Those look like T50s because those will release the window cables. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Stay away from those. Okay, now you don't want to forget this little bolt over here, which is the same right by the lock. And then, okay. Next step, you probably want to take this off. I don't think it's totally necessary, but it helps. Easier with 2 hands. Okay. Next, you want to take off this little grounding wire. Okay. Before you start taking off the wires, you probably want to get your door open a little bit. Just a little bit. It's a little trick right there. Because once you start pulling it off, you're not going to have control of the lock anymore. So, and you just start popping these off. There's a little button on the bottom. Buttons on the bottom. And then, I don't know, buttons on the bottom probably. Nope, somewhere, okay. Free up these wires. This is pretty simple. It has a clip on the door. See that? No, you can't see that. Alright, there it is. There's a clip on the door, just slides off this way. And then you can see a slide in there. And this is relatively easy. There's a lock, it's locked, that unlocks it. And then you just push the back part right here. And it comes out. There you go. Later. That's out. And these look like they come out pretty easy. Just remember where you put them. It's probably a good idea to take a picture of all this stuff that you just ripped off before you rip it off, so you know exactly how to put it back on. I don't think I did that. You're gonna have to get this cable off of the handle. You just squeeze it and pull. If you squeezed it and pull it, I would just slide it in the back, because we're gonna have to go over the top here. Pull this out a little bit, and you're gonna see, if you can, where that cable goes to. So is just grab that cable. You can see it. Grab it and pull it out sideways that way. Pull the cable, pull a little lock out that way. Okay, that was weird. Just getting more and more interesting. Got this little case here that we're gonna pop up. Just so you see the cables going in, I'm just gonna disconnect those and try to slide that lone cable back in there. It's pretty easy, right? Pretty straightforward. Yeah, right, not at all. Now you just have to pull off these grommets. Okay, that came out pretty good. Slide it back a little bit. This one looks a little more like it's gonna be a pain. Slide that out. I mean, they all made them different shapes, which is a pretty smart idea. That way you remember where they go, plus they're attached. Wow, look at all this stuff. Alright, once all these gaskets are off, that's a pain. I had everything almost ready to come out. It felt like it was sliding out. Then I realized, hidden inside the door frame, there was another 10 mil bolt to come off. Who put that in there? This is definitely not a job I wish on any friends or family members. Close family members, at least. This is not easy. Okay, I sure was hoping there was an easier way to do this, but you got to take this gasket off as well. Now, what I did is I followed this cable all the way up into the top up here, and it's attached to God knows what. I just popped it right off, disconnected this cable from all these latches that were on the door. So now, this is what it looks like in the end. I have no idea how I'm going to put that back, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And yes, I do have to take off the rubber gasket so this moves through. Well, I guess I could just pull that out like that. That's fine. Give it some room. All these look like they're loose and ready to come. And of course they're not. Great. You're gonna have to shimmy this housing, which is also connected to a rail, which guides the window. And that rail is still attached to the window, so you have to wiggle it, push down, turn clockwise, and pull out. So you wiggle, when it comes out. And there's, alright, here's the rail, and there's your door assembly. And there's the little motor. Let me see that thing. And there's the little motor that we have to change. Okay, now that I have the assembly out, I have to disassemble this somehow. Just slide a screwdriver in there a little bit. Pull it right out. Okay. Before we take out the motor, The guide rail has to be rotated almost 120 degrees. We take that off. We're gonna have to take off the link that's connected to the latch. That comes out very easily. Just slide this screwdriver under, and that's freed up. Okay, there's the lock mechanism. Get a screwdriver underneath here. There's a little tab. So let me see if you can see that. Tight little tab. You want to free that up like that, and then the rest of the assembly should slide out. There we go. Now this is free. T15 torque. I'm probably going to remove this piece right here. And try to remember where you put all your screws, not like me. Let's see. There we go. It just came right out. That's the piece that we have to replace. I'm just going to show you how I take this little clip off the old actuator. Just take a regular old Bic pen, rip out the ink. Let's see. Just get it, make sure all the edges are punched in, and you can see it coming up. Whoa! Just shot across the kitchen. Alright, well, that's how you do it. After testing your lock for a couple days like I did, now you just have to reinstall everything, which actually, looking at it, doesn't look that impossible. So make sure you get that pin inside the inside your hole there. And then the rest of it kind of slides in. You see it. Make sure it gets on top. I'll do it with one hand, but there you go. Look at that. Fits right in. Make sure it's in. Then you just get your screw and mount it. This is where the fun begins. As you go, test everything. Test it all the time. Make sure you're putting things back. The door locks, unlocks, opens and closes. And then just do everything backwards from here, I guess. This is where it gets a little tricky. You want to put your window rail back in. There's a little hole right there. It slides into. Slides in and doesn't slide back. And to the back, you can see there's a groove that this kind of just slides into. So you want to get that in there and close it. And there you go. Now, somehow, you have to squeeze this little baby back inside the door. Put this back in, you gotta poke it to the highest corner of the door. Just peek in there. Make sure you don't go too far. The highest corner of the door. Peek in there real quick. There it is. And then slide the wiggle it in. There you go. You keep wiggling until it fits into the back door. Voila. It's gonna go a little bit more, but let you figure that out yourself. I know everyone's gonna hate me for this. I couldn't hold the camera and squeeze this back in there. I will just tell you, take everything off. Don't try to get everything in while this actuator support is still stuck on the door housing. Take all your cables off, all your wires off. You're even going to have to disassemble some wiring from the door. You're going to even take this rear latch link off, and you will be able to find the little pin in there, which is orange or green maybe. You can see the pin in there. Yeah, right there. I can see it. I can see it. There it is. You see that little orange pin? Also, up on top here, when you wiggle that piece in, start on the top. You're going to have to slide in where the window is. So the metal guide goes behind the window and it goes up, and keep pushing it up until the window slides into the rubber glides. Also, keep your thumb on that bottom part. This is talking from experience here. Keep your thumb on the bottom part while sliding it up, so that does not detach the guide from your actuator setup. Okay? Don't worry, you will be able to get everything back together if you take a good picture before you do it, or just look at this video. But you will have to take this off to get it out of the way, so you can put it back in. It's very easy to put in. You just slide it in there and connect it to that orange thing, and it's very, very simple. Go in there, reach your hand in there, and click it in place. Once this seems like it's in place, you're going to have to open the door and put the screws back in. To open the door, you're going to probably have to play around with these little cables to get it open, but this one usually does the trick for me. I usually push this, and then when it's open a little, I pull on that, and the rest of the door opens up. There you go. You can see the door's open, so you can get back to your bolts. Okay, to get that aligned, I'm just gonna tighten it up a little bit. Get you going in there. Okay, getting tighter. There we go. So you can tighten a little bit and then go outside, or just finish it off in here. Then you got to go up here and put the other one in. Okay, for the top screw, you're gonna have to reach your hand all the way back there, wiggle around, play with it until you line it up. It's that you can feel the hole. Then the other bolt just screws right in. I'm on the outside here, and you can see it's lined up, but it's not too tight. It's easy to see the holes. It's like a face, like some guy biting my finger. I'm just gonna torque it in. Okay, after you tighten up those torque screws on the outside, come back in and tighten these bolts the rest of the way. There you go, you want to tighten this up. Make sure the top and the bottom are nice and snug. I also check first to see, okay, if the guide was still in and the window was. If you want to, you can take those off and check your window, and it goes up and down. It looked pretty good to me. Don't forget to put back this window seal. There's one hole in the back for the guide, slips in easily, and the other one lines up in the front, so it's pretty simple. I got that in, and it's bolted and tight. Just make sure you just check it again. I can hear it clicking, so it's working. Now I'm gonna put the release link on there and slowly put the door back together. I got the door latch screwed in, first outside then inside. All the pieces are coming into place. I'm gonna close the door, so now I can hook up that link, the latch release link, and then put all the seals back on. Make sure you slip the actuator mechanism back onto the door housing before you close that. What you're going to do is you're just going to move this panel all the way to the back. You're going to see it pop up in here. You're going to see one of the grooves it slides into. Push it on. Reach your hand under here to get this plastic right up against the panel, and then slide back to your left, and it just kind of nudges right in. Like I said, a lot of this is just feeling your way through it. 99% of the reattaching these cables to the lock latches inside here, it's just done by feeling around. Get to know your door mechanism first, and you're just gonna have to reach in and do everything by feel. Everything is free from the frames and the glass going up and down, so you make sure that the wires don't crisscross and that they're all. Alright, this one's pretty simple because the hook is on the bottom. There you go. And voila. Now I got all of the seals on, all of the cables connected, most of the wires. This cable over here, this wire gets hooked up to the outer panel, so for the window control. And yeah, I'm going to put the ground wire in just a little bit. Now remember, when you need to keep this door open a little bit to do some of the work to connect cables underneath. You try to open the door manually after you put the latch back on, it's not going to work because there's a motor in there that is going to keep that door pulled closed. So you need to connect all the wires if you want the door to open. Once you click it, it'll open up, and then you can stop it with the door handle. It opens, and you can close it a little bit, and then that way you can attach your cables underneath so they don't get stuck in the door, and finish putting in the rest of your bolts. Okay, I'm just gonna do this part. It's just like almost the most satisfying part of this whole endeavor. There we go. Still have to fix the window, but that's it. Did I count 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Why do I have an extra one? Oh yeah, the ground cable. Very good. Don't forget the ground cable. Okay, now you don't want to forget this little bolt over here, which is the same So I'm taking the window down, and I'm watching it go down, and you know, it's not that scary because, oh, look at that. I mean, that does not happen in real life. Also, just went right into the spot. We tighten these up. Good, nice and tight. I wiggle them up and down a little bit, make sure that they're in. Alright, I can't believe that works. I'm gonna just do this for a while because you still don't believe that this thing is working. Nice. Okay, after you slide the door back on the top first, you gently push forward because I cracked a couple of these. You just gotta push until you hear some noise. I only heard one snap. There's a little Velcro in the middle here. There we go. Don't forget to put back this T15 in here. Oh, there you go. Just kind of fits right back in place there. Alright. I'm on my last piece. Kind of goes. Oh, can you see that? Kind of goes straight in like this. That's it. I can't believe it. The door locks, unlocks, locks, unlocks, opens, nice, closes, nice, window, nice, sweet, beautiful. I am done and happy that this is over. Goodness, that was not easy. But it was fun. Thank you for watching.